Hey friend, Brandon here from This Is Tech Today. We are going to compare the Poco X5 Pro 5G with the Google Pixel 6a. And we're gonna use this crazy rig in order to do it. Now, the reason why I wanna compare these two together is because the Poco phone and the Pixel 6a are budget devices, and they have a lot to offer at the affordable price. So let's see how they compare in terms of their camera. Now, right now we are kind of in the middle of the day where the lighting is really harsh and everything. So it can look good on some cameras, but it can also be kind of unflattering in certain situations. So come along with me. All right, so the first thing I want to do is find out how my face is exposed in direct sunlight. And let's try the portrait mode. And let's try it out for video. This is the front-facing camera with that direct sunlight. How is it exposing? How's it handling the colors and everything else here? What do you think? This can be pretty unflattering in some situations because it's like straight on like that. Not the greatest look. But if you kind of adjust your orientation, you might get some better lighting. It's still pretty harsh over here. All right, let's see how this works with this water feature over here. We'll punch in, check out the telephoto cameras and see how they compare. Go ultra wide, 1x, telephoto, which is a 2x, and then we'll try the video at 2x. We have some ducks over here. Let's see if we can capture them. Have this little bridge over here, and we'll see if we can get some interesting shots on this one. Let's see if we can get some of the details of things here. There are like kids everywhere. Birthday parties and everything. It's kind of fun. Now, an interesting... This kid just screaming. Now, there's an interesting quirk about camera sensors. They can struggle a lot with red. So that's why I often wear red when I'm making these camera comparisons. So you can see how it's exposing for it. It makes it look like it's nuclear or glowing, or if it looks normal. And sometimes it can look pinker, or it can look more red or orange, depending on the sensor being used. Let's see if I can get this duck, if it'll stay there or run away. Let's see if it'll let me follow him around. One of the things I want to figure out are the detail levels of each of the focal ranges. So I'm going to recompose for each focal length to see if I can match them. We'll start with 2x. 1x. And then the ultra wide, which both are at 0.6. Now, even though both of these phones have the same numbers for their focal ranges, so the ultra wide has 0.6, you have your 1x, and then your telephoto is 2x, that doesn't mean that they're actually the same focal range. So let's see how each of those modes actually compare. Okay, we're in ultra wide. I think the ultra wide on the Poco may actually be wider, but let me know what you notice. And let's do 2x telephoto on both. The one thing that is really obvious though is that the telephoto on the Pixel actually will get closer. You can notice between the shots that the benches or the tables are still visible on the Poco, while on the Pixel they're cut off because it punches in a bit more. Let's try 1x. A little tip, if you want to look more stable, use the ultra wide. That's just a common thing on all cameras. We'll do the 1x. This is a great shot. Then the ultra wide. Dang. Oh, this next situation is during golden hour. This is a favorite amongst photographers and videographers because the light looks at its best. It's not harsh, it's at a slight angle, so you can get those nice little shadows in different areas and things like that. It just looks really beautiful. So the question is, how well will these perform? Let's go find out. All right, let's see how it looks like with the light going over to the side of my face, like this. And then it looks like we have an option to punch in a little bit more on the Pixel 6. And then let's try video over here. And here is what the front-facing camera looks like on the Pixel 6a and the Poco phone over here in this lighting. So we're gonna move around a bit and see how it is exposing for that sunlight over there. So you see at first it made my face very dark, but if you put that where the sun is off to the side of my face, then it starts to expose well for my face and blow up the background there for the Pixel 6a. And then the Poco is always exposed for my face, it looks like, but it looks like it may be a little washed out. I don't know. What do you think? And what do you think about the audio quality on the front-facing camera? So there's been a crazy historic amount of rain so far this year in California, and this softball field is all flooded out because of that. I really like all these reflections here. You can get some really cool things because of that. So let's see what we can get. Ooh, you can see all the, almost fell in the dirt. This is a bad idea. I've made a terrible mistake. And let's try an ultra wide on this. Whew. Telephoto. So over here, there are these beautiful mountains just in the background, and I want to test out the telephoto lens on this just to see how it plays out, because it's just really beautiful over there. Check out these hills. It's so green because of all the rain. All right, so we'll do a 2x, a normal 1x. And what's really interesting is that the Pixel has this super res zoom feature that allows it to upscale or use AI to make the quality of the image even better. Well, I can definitely say that at 7x, which is quite a bit of a difference from 2x, is not so great on either. But I will say that the Pixel 6a looks a lot better than the Poco phone. What do you think? And 1x for context, 2x for fun. An interesting difference between the cameras is that the Poco phone has a macro mode while the Pixel 6a does not. But a lot of times these macro modes use the ultra wide angle lens. So let's see if we can kind of mimic some of that macro mode on the Pixel 6a and see if it makes more sense to go with the Poco phone for macro. Holy cow, that is the same distance. So we have it rested here just on the ground, and my goodness, this macro shot on the Poco is insane. Let's see if we get the water. The way of the water, like Avatar? Don't mind me, just a YouTuber playing in the dirt. I think the telephoto actually looks better than the macro on the Poco phone. How curious. So if you really care about macro shots, it's a little bit more complicated. Yes, the Poco phone does have a dedicated macro mode on it, but you can fake that macro kind of image on the Pixel 6a, and the image quality I think is a lot better. But what do you think? So not having a macro mode on the Pixel 6a, I do not think is a deal breaker. Okay, now I want to find out how the telephoto looks like with something like this, where you have a nice hill that's in the foreground, but the background is hopefully a little bit more blurred out. It doesn't look like the sensor is big enough to be able to have that much of a depth of field difference. So let's try it on something like this nice wooden fence here. Yeah, so when I'm looking at this, I can already tell that there's way more shallow depth of field on the Poco phone. A telephoto lens is also really great for portrait shots. It happens to create a little bit of compression from the subject and the background, so that's something to consider. And that's instead of using the software-based portrait mode, which we're gonna try out right now. Now, interesting thing about the Poco phone is there is an option to adjust the bokeh effect live in the preview, so you can turn it from 0% to 100% to see that. And then I know on the Pixel 6a you can do that in post with a image that wasn't even used for portrait mode. So that's kind of the crazy thing about Pixel phones, all that software features. But let's turn it up to 11. No, we'll turn it up to 100. Okay, and just for kicks and giggles, we'll try the Poco phone at 0. The Pixel actually lets you punch in a little bit more on the portrait mode, so let's try that. Now, one thing's for sure is that the Poco phone has a habit of blowing out the highlights hardcore, so that's something to keep in mind. Kind of a bummer. But I will say that the Pixel does make my face look a bit darker. There's not a lot of white in my eyes, but what do you think? What do you prefer? A more well-lit face or blown out background? Now, one thing that's really interesting is that the main camera just looks really beautiful up close to a subject. You get that really nice shallow depth of field with the bokeh background there. And just so we have it, just in case, so ultra wide. All right, I found this building. I think it looks really cool. Let's check it out. Oh man, it's getting darker. Let's see, ultra wide, and then 1x. Oh my goodness, isn't this like a beautiful view? The light is really starting to go away. It's towards the end of golden hour, so we'll see how this performs in darker environments. But first, let's get some images of this. Let's get this sky. Yeah, 2x. Gotta get these ducks, they're beautiful. 2x. Where are ya? Oh, it's hard to see ya. There's a very contrasty image. I'm not sure if you can see the ducks. I'm trying to get image of those ducks over there. Right over there. Oh, you see them? They're little guys over there. Having a hard time getting them, but man, this is beautiful. Look at that sunset. Fortunate part about this time of the year is that the sun is only out for so long. We're already setting at about 5 o'clock. So by the time you get done with work and everything, it's dark out. It kind of sucks. I wish I had more time. All right, now it's getting pretty dang dim out here. The camera won't show you over here, but I have a Sony camera and these things are insane, and I just gained it up a ton right now, and now it looks like it's daytime again. That's the crazy thing about Sony cameras. But so let me show you a shot that is taken normally and then with night mode. Okay. I've developed a new technique for moving between photos on 2 phones at the same time. It's called the rock on, the heavy metal. That's cringe. I'm embarrassing myself, but you know what I mean, a little heavy metal. You just do that, okay. You just gotta do it in sync. Oh God, I screwed up, okay. I actually don't see too much of a difference between night, sight, night. All right, it's really dark out now. We're at a baseball diamond here. Let's see how it looks like on normal. All right, and we'll put it intentionally on night mode here. I'm not sure if there's any automatic night mode settings here on the Poco or the Pixel, but it looks like there's definitely something different going on between both of them when you go into that mode. Let's try the front-facing camera, night sight. Yeah, no contest there. Pixel totally wins. You can't, I don't know, you probably can't see anything. All right, now we're back in the studio. We're gonna check out some low light tests and some technical tests. So for control, we'll do a well-lit wide angle, normal 1x, and then 2x. Okay, we'll turn off the light. It's no contest. It literally looks pitch black on the Poco phone while the Pixel somehow picks up something. That is crazy. I couldn't even tell what I was focusing on without the assist of the Pixel overexposing things in the preview, while the Poco phone didn't show me anything. It was pitch black, so I had to use a flashlight in order to see what I was actually focusing on. That's crazy. Okay, so what did we learn? Well, night sight is definitely a strength for the Pixel phone. The Poco phone also has a more saturated look to things, while the Pixel is a little bit more natural looking, and I actually prefer that a little bit more myself, but you might have a different preference, and that's fine. I think we can confidently say that the Pixel has more detail across the board, which is really nice to see, especially at its price point. And if you want to look like a smooth, fat potato, well, the beauty mode can definitely help you look like that on the Poco phone. As a whole, amongst these two really affordable smartphones, I personally prefer the Google Pixel phone because its camera is really nice, but you may prefer the Poco phone because it offers just a lot of specs. So if that's something that you really care about, that makes some sense here. But you do end up having a worse camera than the Pixel phone. So the question is, do you prefer having tons of specs with a okay, camera, or would you like something that doesn't have the craziest specs in the world, but the camera is really good and the overall experience, all the other specs and things like that, is also solid? I personally prefer a more holistic, full experience than having something that just has a lot of numbers with a camera that I won't enjoy as much. But hey, you're welcome to have a different view. That's totally fine. Let me know what your preferences, thoughts, and observations are down below in the comments. And before we end this video, let's thank this video sponsor, NordVPN. Hey, are you tired of feeling vulnerable when you're online? Do you worry about exposing your data and being tracked online? NordVPN can help. With over 5,000 servers in 60 countries, NordVPN is a virtual private network service that encrypts your internet connection and hides your online activity. You can browse the web confidently and securely, knowing your data is protected. NordVPN allows you to access content from
all over the world without worrying about censorship or geo restrictions. Plus, NordVPN has a strict no logs policy, so you can be sure that your online activity will remain private. But NordVPN isn't just about protecting your online privacy, it offers a wide range of other benefits. NordVPN has a dedicated IP option, which means you can have a unique static IP address that's only assigned to you. This can be useful for online baking, accessing certain websites, or bypassing IP-based restrictions. NordVPN also has a double VPN feature, which routes traffic through 2 servers instead of 1 for extra security. So why wait? Protect yourself online with NordVPN today and enjoy the security and freedom of the internet. Whether you're at home, at work, or on the go, NordVPN has you covered. Try it out for yourself and see the difference. Click the link in the description or go to nordvpn.com/techtoday to get an exclusive discount plus 1 month free.
If you'd like to pick up either of these phones, go ahead and click the link down below in the description, and go ahead and join the This Is Tech Today community Discord chat server. There's a link down below in the description as well. Thanks for watching This Is Tech Today. Until next time.